It says we are live. So we are live baby. देखने दे यहाँ पे कुछ है क्या अभी? तो है बोल रहा होगा कुछ. ठीक है अपन लाइव है. ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है. Hmm. Stock markets. Instead, you will just take a few important companies is where it is done. You would say markets are done, and if there is a mixed trend, you would say markets are sideways. दिमाग लगा. ये तो चलो रहेगा. साला टेंडा पादरी है. घर लगे. The index. Luckily, you did not actually track this selected companies individually to get a sense of it minted झाले साले. पाहू आता. हाकते का परत साले. हाक माझी. परत चलो ये सॉन्ग का होगा. Practical uses of the index. Some of the practical uses of index are discussed below. Information. The index reflects the general stock market. The index reflects the general market trend for a period of time. The index is broad presentation. The index is a broad representation of country's state of economic. The index reflects the general market trend for a period of time. The index reflects the general market trend for a period of time. ठीक है ना? The index is a broad representation of the country's state of economy. Okay. The stock market index that a stock market index data indicates people optimistic about the future. Likewise, when the stock market index is down, people are pessimistic about the future. For example, the Nifty values on the 1st January of 2014 was 63 and the value as of 20.3% increase. This simply means that during the time period under consideration, the markets have gone up significantly, indicating a strong optimistic economic future. The time frame for calculating the index can be, for example, the index at 9:30 am. Benchmarking. For all the trading investing activities that one does, a yardstick to measure the performance is required. Assume over the last 1 year you invested 1 lakh and generated 20,000 return to make your total corpus rupees 1 lakh 20,000. How do you think you performed? Well, on the face of it, a 20% return looks great. However, that Nifty move this from this generating a revenue of 30,000, 30% during the year. Well, suddenly it may seem to you that you have underperformed the market. If not for the index, you can't really figure out how you performed in the stock market. You need the index to benchmark the performance of a trader or investor. Usually, the objective of market participants is to outperform the index. Trading. Trading on the index is probably one of the most popular uses of index. Majority of the trader is in the market trade the index. They take a broader call on the economy or general state of affairs and translate that into a trade. For example, imagine this situation. At 10:30 a.m., the finance ministry is expected to deliver his budget speech an hour before the announcement. Nifty index is this. You expect the budget to be favorable to the nation's economy. What do you think will happen to the index? Naturally, the index will move up. So to trade your point of view, you may want to buy the index. After all, the index is the representation of the broader economy. So as per your expectation, the budget is good and the index moves up to this. You can now book your profits and exit at 300 points profit. Trades such as these are possible through what is known as derivative segments of the market. We are probably a bit early to explore derivatives, but for now, do remember that index trading is possible through derivative market. Portfolio hedging. Investors usually build a portfolio of securities. A typical portfolio contains 10 to 12 stocks which they would have bought for long-term perspective. While the stocks are held for long-term perspective, they could foresee a prolonged movement in the market, potentially eroding the capital in the portfolio. In such situation, investor can use the index to hedge the portfolio. Index construction methodology. It is important to know how index is constructed, calculated, especially if one wants to advance as an index trader. As we discussed, the index is a composition of many stocks from different sectors that collectively represents the economic state. To include a stock in index, it should qualify certain criteria. One, qualified as an index stock, it should continue to qualify on the stated criteria. If it fails to maintain the criteria, the stock gets replaced by the stock that qualifies the prerequisites prerequisites यही बनते रहते हैं. Based on the selection procedure, the list of a company is populated. देखो भाई, मैं तुम्हारे लिए नहीं पढ़ रहा, मैं मेरे लिए पढ़ रहा. At the time of writing this chapter, the following are the 50 stocks as per the weightage. Allah, ITC good. Last से कमी है. As you can see, ITC has the highest weightage. This means Nifty index is the most sensitive to price change in ITC Ltd and less sensitive to price change in DLF. Sector-specific indices. While the Sensex and Nifty represent the broader market, Certain indices represent specific sectors. They are called sectorial indices. For example, Bank Nifty on NSE represents the most successful banking industry. The CNXIT on NSE represents the behavior of all IT stocks in the stock market. Both BSE and NSEs have sector-specific indexes. The construction and maintenance of these indices are smaller than the major indices. Key, take, Key takeaways from this chapter: an index acts as a barometer for the whole economy. An index going up indicates the market participants are optimistic, vice versa. There are two main indices in India: BSE and NSE. Nifty. An index can be used for a variety of purposes: information, benchmarking, trading, hedging. Index trading is probably the most popular use of index. India follows the free float calculation method to construct the index. There are sector-specific indices which convey the sentiment of the specific sector. देख भाई, मेरी स्ट्रीम हो रही है, ठीक है? तो आज के लिए इतना ही। बाय बाय। बाय बाय।